Hi, welcome back to the Modern Renaissance Man, a show about Renaissance people and entrepreneurs. My name is Ben Copeland, I'm your host, and I'm the Modern Renaissance Man. A few things I wanted to go over with you tonight, a couple things I've seen happening locally around the city. Have you noticed all the new bikers that are riding up and down the streets? You know, when I was growing up, you used to worry about bikers that basically had, you know, jean jackets or leather jackets and wings on the back or wheels on the back, and you know, they're terrorizing the community. Now we sort of have a new set of biker. You know, they're running around in things that look like Speedos. They're sort of like extended swim shorts kinds of things, and I find them riding side by side, blocking the roads, and you know, it sort of concerns me sometimes. Like, what happens if my car brakes don't work that well and I can't slow down? They're really, I think they're taking their lives in their hands some there. I never see children on bikes anymore. I went by a school the other day and used to grow up and I'd see children in the school playground. All I saw was a bunch of, like, you know, 25, 30, 40 something year old people. Some riding bikes, some jogging, some walking. Where are the children? You know, so where are they at? I don't know, sort of just some things that jump out. The other thing I saw driving to the studio today that I found real interesting, and it ties directly with entrepreneurs. As we have in Charlotte, we have a lot of people who start their own lawn businesses, they start their own landscape businesses. I saw this guy driving up the street and he had one of those little Miata sports cars, a little bitty sports car kind of thing. And he had boxes all stacked on it. And in the back he had a trailer and he had all these ladders stacked on it. I was like, is this the wave of the new fuel-efficient work truck? You know, here's this open seat Miata. It's quite interesting to look at. The other thing I noticed is that I see there's actually a major effort by Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools to reduce the size of students within the classroom. I hadn't really thought of this approach, but what I've seen is in the paper the other day is that, you know, they're suspending or expelling roughly 1 out of every 6 children. So, I mean, what a great way to reduce the size of the class, because you're looking at roughly, you know, a 15-18% reduction in classroom attendance if you start kicking out all these students. I guess that's the positive side of the zero tolerance effect in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. Other thing I want to mention is today, we're filming today. It is July the 13th. You'll see this show probably in August, maybe September. The space shuttle was supposed to go off today. I was really excited about that. I even brought down a little TV camera that's in my backpack. I was hoping to see it. It got canceled. I'm not exactly sure why. I know there was something about a cover earlier today. I'm really excited about this shuttle going up. Hopefully you are too. I think it's a real neat thing to do. I think that NASA ought to start selling some seats. You know, one time a guy offered like $20 million to ride on the shuttle, and they turned me down. So he called the Russians up, and the Russians said, sure, why not? I don't understand that. I mean, we sent monkeys up for free. Why can't we send some people up for $20 million? But anyway, this is a show about Renaissance people, about different things that people do. For example, like this is a suit. That's my Ricky Ricardo suit. And I was given this. I didn't actually buy this, but I did alter it. The other things that Renaissance people do is I make my own desk. I make my own sets. And I sew my little girl's patches on her Girl Scout vest. So I do a lot of things, build decks, and that's what we're looking to do with this show, and a lot of different things. You'll see this show change from week to week. So stay with us, and now we're going to go to a little serious side of the show. One of the things that disturbs me here lately, I've been seeing on television, a talk show, national talk show host, is back to the issue of abuse of children. And this talk show host has been focusing on nannies. And when I think about that, I also think about all of the other people that work with children And particularly I think about preschool children. That really strikes home with me. My spouse works in the preschool business. My concern on seeing these shows is that does everybody then start stereotyping people as a problem? There are probably millions of people who work with children every day who care about children. I've visited some preschools, and I see people who generally do care about children. If you take your child to a preschool, it's worth investigating, make sure the school's good. The thing, though, that bothers me is that these are not babysitters. If you're willing to put your child in the hands of another person, that person becomes a surrogate parent. And that person is helping to raise your child. A lot of people are wanting to put on the responsibility of getting my child ready at 2 and 3 years old to go to Harvard. And then they turn right around and say, well, you're just a babysitter. It's sort of like they can't make up their mind what they want the preschool teacher to be. I'd like to see some more appreciation for the people in that industry. The average person wouldn't even consider taking that job and that level of responsibility for the amount of money that's paid, the lack of benefits, the treatment by parents who basically belittle them or think that they're basically next to nothing with regard to importance in society. And that bewilders me. We're giving them custody as surrogate parents of some of the most important things in our lives. And yet we belittle them, we pay them very little money, we show very little appreciation. If you have a child in preschool, be sure to talk to the teacher. She's the person that's helping to raise your child. She's the person that's giving your child a safe haven for a few hours a day. So maybe you can get out and roam about. Or maybe hopefully, you're out working to support the needs of the child. And you're not just working to further a career. So treat your preschool people correct. Treat your teachers correct. These people are out here making little money to try to help our society be better by helping our children to be better. Thank you, and that's the way I feel. And now we're going to have some music from the Scott McCloud Group, and we'll be switching over to them. Hi, welcome back to the Modern Renaissance Man. I'm Ben Copeland. That was the Scott McCloud Group that you just saw. Local band who has some excellent tunes. One of the things I want to know we're going to have a guest out here, local, what I say is not Renaissance Man. Here's a little surprise for Dano, my director. I was at the library. That's where I like to rent my videos. The price is outrageously great, as long as you turn it in on time. So I was stumbling through, and what was something I hadn't seen before, and I just came across this video, and I think I can show this without it being advertisement, hopefully so. But if you can get a picture of this, Dan, if y'all can come in on this. I had never. Is that showing? Can you get a camera in on that to find out? It's called Bubba Hotep.
Thank you
Well, Bubba Hotep, I've got to read this. I stumbled on this. I've never heard of this film. I would love to know if anybody has ever heard of this film. Let me read what this is about. Mud Creek, Texas is about to get all shook up. I love that, all shook up. If you noticed on there, it's an Elvis impersonator. When mysterious deaths plague the Shady Rest retirement home, it's up to an aging, cantankerous Elvis and a decrepit and black JFK. That'll be interesting because that's Ozzie Davis. It'll be interesting seeing that role. Bruce Campbell, who I don't know him, is the Elvis. To defeat, get this, to defeat a 3,000-year-old Egyptian mummy with a penchant for sucking human souls. Can the king show the world that he can still take care of business? Bubba Hotep, please, if you have ever heard of this movie, send me a note. I've never seen this in my life. I just thought it was outrageous. I'm going to try to watch it and just to see if it's as hokey as it sounds. It's got to be outrageous. Bubba Hotep. Okay, here we go with that. There's a little piece of tidbit for you. If you get a chance, you want to watch a movie, it'll probably help you sleep at night. We'll see. With that, I want to talk about my guest that's coming out. Like I said, he's a local person. He's actually from North Carolina. I believe it's Lumberton. We'll find out for sure on that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and have him come in. We'll talk some after he gets here about what things he's done and who he is. And HBritt, please come on out and join me. Henry? Henry? Come on out, Henry. We'll get you mic'd up here. Have a seat, sir. Okay, if I get this right for the audio guy. Appreciate you coming, taking time from your job and coming out here and busy with, I wasn't supposed to say, taking that vacation day and coming out here and spending some time on the show. First, let's go over a little bit about yourself. I was right. You were from Lumberton, is that correct?
No, I was born in Lumberton.
You're born in Lumberton?
I'm actually from a little town by the name of Fairmont.
Fairmont.
It's close to there, yeah.
I've heard Lumberton. I hadn't heard actually of Fairmont, I don't believe.
Yeah.
Like, where's that close to that?
It's between Lumberton and Whiteville. You can't.
Whiteville, towards Wilmington?
Yeah, you have to, if you're going to the beach, you have to pass through. We used to give people directions on how to get to the beach.
It must be a fast pass.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Anyway, Henry and I go back a ways. Got to know each other through some part-time stuff that I've done at the private school that Henry works at, and I don't think we're actually supposed to mention the name, but that's okay. Let's just say it's a nice, prestigious private school in Charlotte.
Yes, it is.
It's K through 8. Very successful school's been in business for about coming on. Let's see, it's 5 years this year. Just finished, coming into its 6th year.
Yeah.
Let's talk about first about your family. You're living in Charlotte.
Yes.
You have a wife and 2 children, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and your wife's name is?
Beth.
Beth, and your children?
Carly.
Who's how old?
7. Stephen, who's 17.
And 17.
Yes.
Now you sound like my split. I have Kate, who's 11, and a stepson who's right at Aaron, who's right at 21.
Yeah.
What did we do for 10 years?
I can't say that on there.
That's okay. That's good.
Nothing.
Nothing. Had fun without some children. Anyway, Henry's job with the school is facilities and services director, and prior to this year, he actually carried a 3rd hat, and he was director of athletics, and that's such an interesting mix.
Yeah.
In one job. If you ever happened to go by that school and saw Henry, basically you saw Henry running in about 200-300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
From one area. He's probably slowed down to about 150 to 175, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not in the summer, but yeah. Lots of projects.
So that's where you're at now. Let's talk a little about some of the things you've done. Tell me a little bit about I guess some of the diverse experiences. We'll start first with current, like some of the different things that your day may entail.
Oh, okay.
Like at the school. And then we'll think sort of the last year when you wore the multiple hats.
Okay.
So give me an idea of how you jump around.
Well, the day starts out with a facility security walk around the building. Make sure that everything's in order. The building's clean.
So now you're a security guard also, in a way.
Yeah, I do two security checks personally every day. Yeah, and I'm well qualified for that if need be.
And then, so I mean, what do you do? Next thing you know, what, you get a phone call to get somebody working on some plumbing, or?
Well, I can. I make sure that everything from the HVAC system to
HVAC. That's air conditioning for some people. That's all right.
Air conditioning. Air conditioning.
Heating, air conditioning.
Yeah, forced air, and the make sure that everyone's comfortable. All those things that no one ever thinks about, they come and it's there for them.
Well, I've seen you moving around, so I guess with the idea then of, so here managing the facilities, I think most people sort of basically that, but then to turn right around and say you're having a conversation on designing a kitchen.
Yeah.
And then you're having a conversation on the girls' soccer team.
Yeah, can do that. You have to switch.
And that's some fast mode switching.
Yeah, multitasking.
And then you get somebody redoing the ball field. Then you got somebody who's trying to decide they're going to teach tennis or not teach tennis.
Yeah, coordinating several events at once. Yeah.
So how was it? I mean, how
it becomes not routine, but it becomes something you can manage. You just have to be organized and literally know a little about a lot. And if you need to know a lot about a little. It changes, and it changes from day to day.
Sort of the thing I like to say is the jack of all trades, master of a few.
Or none.
I'll say no. I got a few things I'm pretty good at.
Building construction, security, grounds, and the athletics piece was many things.
And then the other piece that I find to me would probably be a real significant challenge is what I've seen is the parent interaction process.
There's much of that, yeah.
So in the midst of all that, you have to be politically correct, and how you're addressing the parents.
Not so much politically correct as being accurate and providing information that's that's usable and.
I know recently we had a conversation about a project, and it was like we put it over to start. The project probably could have started within a few days, and it basically turned into a month.
Yeah.
Dealing with the coordinating of parental involvement there.
Yeah, that happens.
Have to work with that, so that's probably
it's
an interesting challenge.
It's good to set the proper expectations.
Well, let's go back. I know you spent some time in the military. Tell me something about your military experiences.
12 years on active duty in the Marine Corps. I was what they call a logistician. Air, land, sea, rail, transportation systems.
So when you went in, they just said, okay, you're the ideal logistician.
No, I could read and write. And they put me in training for.
Was that the advanced training sessions?
Yeah.
You had that going in.
Well, the Marine Corps doesn't have a lot of internal schools, but we depend on the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, for a lot of our.
And you're a Chapel Hill graduate, right? Is that right?
Went to school at Chapel Hill.
Tar Heel here.
Yeah, I have a couple of degrees from here. Yeah. Classes, and master's degree was part of an officer in the Marine Corps is required to have continuing education, and a lot of it's on our own. So I would.
Now, was that all before you got married?
Yes. Part of that was. I was honorarily retired in '97 from the Marine Corps as a major. I was Major Britt at the time. So.
Well, let's talk about. I think we're already running out of time, so it surprises me. Ooh.
Right.
Okay, no, I don't think we are. I think we're doing okay. I'm trying to get the hand signals from the man. As I said, boy, that seemed to be a fast time there, wasn't it? But that's you and I sort of have some fun conversations.
Yeah.
Let's talk about just the diversity of things that you've gotten into. You had some interesting stories, at least some interesting trips I gathered out of some of the Marine stuff.
Yeah, I was went from Honduras, Iceland.
hot and cold.
Yeah, yeah, that's the way to do it in the Corps. Want to make sure you're not, you're not comfortable at any time. Traveled in small groups to set up maintenance areas. I was also a maintenance officer, so we would set up small cities is what it amounted to.
Well, I'm scared to ask you, and I've got to interrupt for a second. It just come to mind. Where's your tattoos?
I didn't get any tattoos. There's
Most every Marine I find usually has tattoos somewhere.
Well, there's only 3 tattoo parlors in the world that I would let touch me, and I didn't make it over to Southeast Asia. So.
Well, I've seen some little local places here in Charlotte. I guess you could have bopped in through there sometime.
I'll just keep my opinion to myself. I don't want any disparaging remarks about local tattoo parlors.
So you sort of bopped around the world. I know you said there you spent some time on the Middle East, and that was actually Iraq, Iran, or where?
Libya.
Libya. Oh, that's even more interesting.
That was all before it became popular. Yeah.
Okay, before we started sending wake up things to them.
It was when we did things quietly. Yeah.
Just sort of under the table kind of stuff.
Not so much under the table. Just it was general.
And what kind of jobs and things did you do? Say, did you have growing up, and say going into college all before the service?
I was a tobacco farmer.
Oh.
That's all there is in Robeson County. That and at the time textiles.
So what are you doing textile mill? You did that?
I didn't. That was just local. Yeah, I did the tobacco.
So what, basically like cutting the leaves and going to the barn and hanging them and all of that kind of stuff?
Well, I don't know. We didn't have child labor laws then, so if you have a family business, I think you can still work them.
You can abuse them. No, we just talked about that.
Yeah, I guess I was 3 or 4 when I started working, and by the time I was in my early 20s, I worked till I was about 21. We owned several businesses. So,
is tobacco dirty when you're having to grow it? Is it sticky, gooey? I mean, I often wondered, is it like resin?
Well, I thought everyone did it growing up. I thought everyone worked in tobacco, but it didn't turn out to be that way. It's tobacco, sticky, wet, cold, hot.
So basically basically like farming, and that was just a particular crop.
Yeah.
Like how many acres kind of stuff was this on?
50 acres of tobacco, 300 acres of cleared land.
What do you do with cleared land?
Well, that was corn, beans, soybeans. So you'd utilize that any way you can in small farms like that. Well,
tell me, what of some jobs, if you can think of any one particular job, what was the, I guess, sort of the oddest maybe, or the wildest, and why?
Probably the oddest job was at the beginning of Desert Storm. Before it all was planned and coordinated, there are things that have to take place, and so while the rest of the military went to stationed off Saudi Arabia, I went to Hawaii, and with no one there.
What a drag!
I had to make sure the Officers Club golf course still worked, and but we would set up a huge maintenance area because that's the closest point for equipment to be repaired.
So instead of being out in the big sand trap of Saudi Arabia's golf course, whatever, you got to go to Hawaii with the lush grasses.
Serve my country in Hawaii, yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm proud to know you. I'm sure it was a difficult assignment. What I know of you, I'm sure you followed through with the expertise. We're going to have to wrap up, I think, this segment of the show. Henry's going to join us for a couple of others here for the rest of the quarter. And looking forward to having him.
Yeah, I have more stories, yeah.
Let's see. With that, then, basically we have a section of the show that we call the Job Seekers Corner.
Hi, my name is Greg Janis, and I'm a manufacturing operations manager with over 20 years experience in equipment manufacturing, machinery, and aerospace manufacturing. I'm experienced with all aspects of machining, fabrication, assembly of complex products. Most recently, I was a vice president of manufacturing for a small manufacturer of automatic equipment serving the restaurant industry. I had full P&L responsibility for operations, materials, quality, and customer service. If you need a manufacturing manager that can increase your on-time delivery, that can reduce your product costs, and through the implementation of lean manufacturing skills, then I would like to meet with you and tell you how this can be accomplished. Once again, my name is Greg Janis, and you can contact me at gregjanis@earthlink.net. That's GREGJANIS @earthlink.net. Thank you.
And hearing about how long some people have been out of work, it's real disenchanting. Having been out of work and displaced myself, it's a challenge just to get a face-to-face conversation with somebody. So if you can, contact them if you know of an opportunity. In closing here, I'd like to thank, most importantly, the crew who's come out to help me put on this show. Dano, you're the man. The camera operators, Nelson, May, who did my audio for me. Watch out, Nelson, at night. Hopefully they didn't mind the plug. I'd like to thank my wife, Jennifer, the green room, my best girl, Kate, my daughter. You can contact me at the Modern Renaissance Man at together.net. Put the Modern Renaissance Man and put underscores between each word. And send me an email. If you know of a person who's a job seeker, send it to me. If you know of a person who's a Renaissance person, there's a lot of diverse things. If you know somebody who is an entrepreneur, send me those via the email. And once again, join us on the first and third Fridays of each and every month at 8:30 p.m. My name is Ben Copeland, and I'm the Modern Renaissance Man. Have a good evening.